Welcome to the video series where we are going to talk about this beautiful front-end framework known as Angular. This entire series is going to be divided into multiple sections which will cover both the practical and the conceptual aspect of this technology. In this video, let us talk about what is Angular. Probably I have already answered this question by now. Yes, it's a framework. The formal definition of a framework looks something like this. So it's a platform over which a developer can develop their application. Well, this definition might not be so helpful, right? So let us try to understand this concept in a different way. Now there can be various kinds of website, e-commerce, a hospital's website, internet banking, or even a simple blog. But despite their different nature, all of this website might have certain problems in common. Like they might need authentication for their user, they might need a logging mechanism, or they also might need to connect to their database. But it is not practical for all of these websites to develop these solutions individually, because firstly it will take a lot of time, and secondly that will be full of bugs, because every time you're trying to reinvent the wheel and it is not production tested, right? So it will have bugs for sure. So better solution would be if all of these solutions are actually developed by a separate group of developers, tested thoroughly, and then packaged as a single solution. Yes, that is known as a framework. So instead of developing these solutions again and again, these websites can actually use them and they can focus on their actual business logic. Now that brings us to another question. What is the difference between a library and a framework? Though these two are very similar by the fact that both solve common problems, there is a slight difference. If this is your code and you want to solve a certain problem using a library, you just need to download it and plug it into your application. Framework, on the other hand, provides you a structure or a boundary where you have to fit in your code. A framework might need you to follow a particular project structure, extend certain classes, or can provide you some standard hooks. This is called inversion of control, where instead of the developer, the framework is in charge and is doing the heavy lifting for you. In my previous slide, I explained framework referring to the backend application, but recently complex requirements are coming into front end as more and more users are favoring app-like experience, which calls for emerging front-end frameworks like React, Angular, Vue, etc. What are the problems? We will discuss it in our next video in a great detail. So well, what else Angular is apart from being a framework? It's also a platform. Why? When you develop a website, it can only be run into a browser. Angular breaks this restriction for you. An application developed in Angular can also be run in different platforms such as mobile, desktop, and so on. Normally we need different code bases for different platforms. Then how Angular applications achieve this platform neutrality? Because Angular itself serves as a platform and sits on top of these devices. Thus your application gets a cross-platform compatibility. This is a great thing to have, because if you are targeting users of different platforms, which you are in most cases, it really saves your life. If you have any question, let me know in the comment section, and I will see you in the next one.